तमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं। शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं। सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वासुदेवेन्द्र योगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते। As we saw last time, Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha. There is a natural urge to seek freedom from being insecure. Finance, name and fame, even community, money, power, relationships. These are all common sources of security. When I seek security, it implies that I feel insecure. Only when I feel insecure, I go for security. Like even when I feel that I may fall down, I may seek a stick, I may seek crutches. One who is sure not to fall down, one who can be on his or her own legs, he or she need not seek or may not seek crutches. Only when I feel unsafe with myself, I seek crutches. So also, when I seek security, it implies that I feel insecure. So please understand that Purushartha is not the search for security. Purushartha is freedom from insecurity. That I am a self-conscious being, and to some extent all living beings, animals and birds are self-conscious. That being self-conscious, it is natural, or I would say it is legitimate to feel insecure. In case of human being, I being self-conscious and awareness being total, as though I cannot stand myself being insecure. The status that I am insecure is something just I want to get rid of it. And that being the case, I am seeking freedom from insecurity, being insecure. Why I feel insecure, that we shall see later on. Because of ajnanam, ignorance, that being sahajam, because of identification with body-mind complex, I see myself as insecure being, that insecure I not being acceptable to me. I just can't stand. I seek freedom from insecurity. In other words, the artha purushartha is nothing but search for freedom. It is a pursuit for freedom, freedom from being insecure. So also, kama purushartha means seeking pleasure. I seek conducive, quote unquote, conducive to me, called in Sanskrit we call ishta, objects, people, and situation which holds a promise of being happy, which holds a promise of being at home with myself. That search for that kind of objects or situation or people is called a search for Kama Purusha. If you analyze this, there is no object, there is no place, there is no time, there is no situation, even relationship. Relationship can be Artha Purushartha as well as Kama Purushartha. No relationship which can be called as Sukham, which can be called as happiness. There is no object. True, you may find some people whose name is Ananda. Mr. Anand. It is like I had met one child where the baby was little unhappy because mother denied him something. I asked that baby, "Hey, what is your name?" "My name is Ananda." That kind of Anandas are there. Only thing is, baby was physically expressive about his status of Ananda. People are non-expressive. But Ananda is a name, not a person. Ananda, there is a resort, a place, but it is not happiness. There cannot be person or a situation or place. That is why you find one fellow thinks that if I live there, I will be happy. Other fellow thinks if I get away from that place, I will be happy. One fellow thinks if I relate to somebody, get married to somebody, I will be happy. Other fellow thinks I want to get rid of this relationship to be happy. That is also true for time. Childhood, they think it's a status of being Ananda, which is not true. People say, oh, the best period of life is to be child. But I still remember, as a child, we were most unhappy person. We always wanted to grow, or grow in terms of physical and things like that. Everything you need a permission from mother. Everybody is controlling you. We never enjoyed our own childhood anyway. They say child has no worry. But child has no worry because it is incapable of worrying, because there are other people who create enough dukkha. Thank God Bhagavan has not given that capacity, because the fellow is all the way dukhi. He wants chocolate, mother says no. He wants to go out, mother says no. He doesn't want to sleep, mother says sleep. All kinds of pressures he has. So there is no state called Ananda, you know. So neither youth also. As in your example, there is always garage sale. There is always resale. Though they may give a new name, resale is not a good name. There's a used car. Whether used means the fellow didn't want it. He kept it there. And the other fellow thinks I bought it. It is the deal. So coming back to this, where I am basically seeking happy self. Why? Because I find myself to be unhappy self. So Kama Purushartha is nothing but seeking freedom from unhappy self, non-happy self. Even going to heaven, going to is also another place with another situation and another people around. That also is a purushartha to seek that, to get rid of unhappy self. Okay? You know, there may be a conditioning that hey, you are a sinner. The fellow who thinks himself or herself to be sinner wants to go to heaven, he or she wants to be free from the status of being sinner. So, freedom from being insecure, freedom from being unhappy is the Purushartha. It is only one and the only one Purushartha that we are seeking. People don't know That Purushartha is a Purushartha of freedom. That confusion, that lack of clarity, that I seek freedom and taking the things to be the end, the taking the Artha Purushartha as the Purushartha, looking upon Kama Purushartha as the Purushartha. This confusion is aviveka, and viveka is necessary. Generally, people want to restructure, people want to reorganize, or people want to manipulate the world outside. But so-called seekers want to restructure their mind, want to reorganize their mind, want to manipulate the within. That is also seeking freedom. And both are equally confused. Both are, in the language of Shastra, they are samsari. See, who is samsari? One who doesn't have Purushartha Viveka. Who is a Viveki? One who has discerned that this is the Purushartha of my life. Any process of change, by any process of restructure, I cannot become happy, I cannot become secure. Other way of looking at is, I see myself as imperfect. I see myself as lacking. I see myself as limited being. Artha Purushartha is an urge from urge of freedom, freedom from lack, freedom from imperfection, freedom from self-dissatisfaction. This freedom, either here or hereafter, whether I go somewhere, any kind of change in external situation achieved by any amount of effort or any kind of effort, the change which comes into being will certainly be limited, will be imperfect. And that being the case, going to any loka hereafter will continue, even if I go there, I continue myself to be imperfect. Nasti akritaha krutena. Pariksha lokan brahmano nirvedamayat. Nasti akritaha krutena. That Mundaka Upanishad mantra, the Brahmana, the word is used as a guna, as a quality. It is not jati. Please understand. Just as there is a confusion about Purushartha, there is a confusion about Varna also. this confusion has created lots of problem in India also. Anyway, that's not being the topic over here. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras are qualities. In Shastra, Brahmana is, even in this mantra, it's a quality. The person who has analyzed that the process of becoming is going to be anitya. Ekam nitya nitya vastu, nityam vastu ekam brahma, tadanyat sarvam anityam. That anything that is achieved in time is going to be anityam. Anityam doesn't mean limited. Anything achieved in time will be imperfect. And I will see myself as imperfect being there. Please understand, the problem is of self not being perfect. I see myself imperfect. That imperfect person thinks, if I go somewhere, if I achieve something, if I change something, I will be perfect. It is with some value addition. If I add something, or if I subtract something, I'll be perfect. No, that's going to be just a value addition, which the Swamiji often used to say. Like that broomstick. If they decorate broomstick and put it in drawing room, it is a broom only. In India, it is famous. West may say best. You create best out of the West. And they used to create Taj Mahal from the bottles and the marbles and things like that. But after all, it is not Taj Mahal, it is marble. That broomstick remains a broomstick. Only thing is, it is a little better than the normal. So, that imperfect person continues to be imperfect by achieving something which is imperfect. The limited person will continue to be limited. The finite person will continue to be finite hereafter as well, because whatever is achieved here or hereafter, wherever you happen to go here or hereafter, is finite. A summation of finite means this finite fellow has something finite, it will be finite. The imperfect person has something outside which is imperfect, is going to be imperfect. Nasti akritaha kritena. This is Viveka. That restructuring will not give me freedom from imperfection, will not give me freedom from sense of lack, will not give me freedom from insecurity, will not give me freedom from unhappiness. By the way, unhappiness, imperfection, self-dissatisfactions are synonyms. Now, sarvam anyat anityam. That is Viveka. Now the second part of Viveka, which is first mentioned, Nityam Vastu Ekam Brahma. Only one thing is Nityam. Only one thing that is permanent. When this is where our tradition comes into play. If you are born to this tradition, if you are born to this culture, and if you grow in this culture, and if you are exposed, because being born in this culture, you get exposed to this culture, and this culture is being purely spiritual culture, it gives you some insight, it gives you some feeling that I have not to search something outside, I have to search something within. It gives you some knowledge that what I am seeking is something revealed in Shastra. What I am seeking, I have to go to a teacher. What I am seeking is Shreyaha. Like famous example of Naradji, who goes to Sanat Kumaras and says, Rigvedu Adhyami, Yajurvedu Adhyami, etc., etc. He tells what all I have learned, what all I know. But then he says, Etat Shrutam Maya Bhavadbhya Mahadbhya, from these great people like you have heard. What is you have heard? That Tarati Shokam Atmavit. The wise man crosses the ocean of samsara that you love. This is the blessings of the tradition. You grow in this tradition even now, even if you don't know what is Gita. You fellow may not, I know how many chapters are there in Gita, but fellow will know Atma is Ajar Amara. Atma doesn't die. The fellow knows, just as you change clothes, Atma changes body. There is no cause for shoka. That is Nityam Vastu Ekam Brahma. That is Viveka. The second half of the Viveka is the blessings of the tradition. Arjuna ended up asking, Arjuna says, like the same mantra of Mundaka Upanishad, Nasti akritaha kritena. Akritaha, if there is something permanent, it has to be me only. That which is beyond time and space cannot be created, cannot come into existence at a given time and at a given place. It should be a being, not something to be becoming. I want perfect self, Purna. That fullness cannot be in terms of becoming, fullness is being. There is something called fullness, it is being. And therefore Arjuna says, Tarati Shokam, Naraji says, Tarati Shokam Atma. With I've heard, teach me about the sun. So also Arjuna says, Yat Shreyas Syat Tat Nishchitam Bruhi Tanme. What is Shreyas? Please teach me. There are so many examples in this tradition. From Narada and Arjuna onwards, even Lord Rama talks to Vasishtha, and there is a whole text called Yoga Vasishtha. Being born to this tradition, being exposed to our wisdom of the rishis indirectly through the forms. There is, as Swamiji would say, paperback knowledge. Knows there is some Atma, knows there is something. That person understands Nityam Vastu Ekam Brahma. Okay? What I am seeking is not elsewhere. What I am seeking is not something other than me. What I am seeking is something called as Brahman or Atma. In India, people would hear this word, Atma to Satchidanand hai, self is Satchidanand, etc., etc. So, this helps person to discern the Purushartha. First part of the Purushartha is to discern that I am seeking freedom. And where should I seek? That I should seek freedom, not in Arthakama, not in Dharma. I should seek freedom in myself. That I am free by nature and I should seek the self. This is Vivek. Please understand, this is qualification. We are not talking about Atmanatma knowledge, just a qualification, a clarity about seeking. What exactly am I seeking and what exactly I should pursue? I am seeking freedom. In other words, I am mumukshu. And that mumukshu can be that moksha can be fulfilled through scriptural studies, through by self-knowledge. That is Viveka. Here, I would like to add the other part of the Viveka, second half of the Viveka, that there is Viveka also means certain degree of cognitive growth. One should have certain amount of subtlety in intellect. Buddhi should be little sharp and little subtle. Not totally sharp and fully sharp and subtle is rare, but for this to get, otherwise what happens when Buddhi is not sufficiently relatively sharp and subtle, the person cannot see through the logic, cannot see through the teaching. I often find, I myself had an experience about 20, 30 years ago when Puja Swami had come here to Baroda. I took one of my old college mate, he was a good friend. I said, come. That time I had just come out of my studies. Come to and listen to Swamiji, and he came. He attended whole week and I thought he will get proud and will get interested in study and will feel, yes, I want to study. He was a senior executive in a very public limited company here. Number 3 in corporate hierarchy. He said, you know what compliment he gave me? He is nice. Swamiji talks good stories and jokes. But what is new? He told the same thing what he told on the first day and the last day. There is a lot of repetition. I understand this, but he keeps on repeating. There is no stuff in it. There is no stuff here in you, idiot. Swamiji has a lot of stuff. You don't have stuff to see the subtle argument, see the difference of the statements. So, that subtle buddhi is necessary. Therefore, there is a mantra, drashyate tvagraya buddhya sukshmaya sukshmadarshibhi. Certain degree of sharpness, certain degree of subtlety means analytical strength, capacity to see the analysis is necessary, and that is why traditionally we Shastras, we teach this Panini and Nyaya and Tarka and Vaisheshika and etc. This is for cognitive growth, necessary cognitive growth for study of Vedanta. Vyakarana, this Panini grammar being meta language, you have to be very sharp and subtle to see through these meanings and all pratyayas and sutras and etc. So also Nyaya, etc. So, in a modern times, we presume when we teach to people, we don't do that. We straightway teach Vedanta because I feel that, and Puja Swami also often felt that modern educational system, the modern information transmission system is such that it gives certain degree of subtlety and certain degree of sharpness to the person. Certain degree of cognitive growth does take place. So when Swamiji started the course, in the first course when he advertised in the newspaper, he had asked that, minimum qualifications. There was a mention that the person who want to enroll for the course should be a graduate minimum. It has nothing to do whether you are graduate or not. It is not like a marriage, They say, in Saurashtra, I find the children who have father's business, they don't study well. And then they take some subjects here and there and keep moving around. I said, then why are you attending college? Why you are doing external graduation? And why didn't you take this line? You could have done well in the other subject. He says, Swamiji, I am not interested. I have my father's business and I can earn money. After 2 years, I have to get married. It is required that I should be graduate. So, graduation seems to be a qualification to get married in the modern times. Therefore, they write in that marriage card, invitation card, Chiranjeevi Kaushal into bracket BSc B, what is that is electric engineering, and with Saubhagya Kankshini, whatever, the Chiranjeevi, Ramila or whatever, they like BSc Compu, as though BE elect is a qualification to get married, and BSc Compu as though it's a qualification to get married. Certainly not. I feel like cautioning that BSc Compu, be careful, don't get married. If you can touch him, 440-volt current will come through the tongue. And I feel like telling that boy, don't get carried away by just BSc Compu. She will send all the virus to the tongue, to you, and it will corrupt your system of thinking. Each one will destroy their system of thinking by high voltage and by virus. This is useless thinking. So also in the course, it was not the qualification, hoping that graduation, that means exposure to the world outside and exposure to modern subjects and study will give them necessary sharpness and subtleness of the intellect. Otherwise, if the intellect is not sufficiently sharp, if the intellect is not sufficiently subtle, I find people are very intelligent, but necessary subtlety is not there. They get carried away by emotional logic. You see, these kathas, sometimes this kathakar give logic to the story and people take it, what a logic, what a beautiful thing. And I can fulfill this logic just like this, but people get carried away because of lack of necessary sharpness and subtlety. So Viveka also implies necessary subtleness, necessary sharpness. That is the first qualification, Nitya Vastu Vivekaha. Then comes the second. The second statement is, what is the second qualification? What is the second means? Secondary means, sadhana chatushtaya. Fourfold means. First means is Viveka, second is Vairagya. What is Vairagya? They ask, Viraga kaha. What is viragaha? Iha swarga bhogeshu ichha rahityam. Ichha rahityam means absence of desire. Absence of desire. What kind of desire? And absence of where? Which absence of towards what? And what kind of desire? That is qualified by the first word, iha swarga bhogeshu icharahitu. Bhogeshu, in the enjoyments, in those objects which promises, in my perception, me some pleasure, some happiness, in those enjoyments, either here or hereafter, either in this world or in heaven, etc. Heaven means anything hereafter. That includes America as well. You know, fellow want to go to America, fellow want to go to Germany, fellow want to go to London. That is all hereafter. Anything here or hereafter. Even a villager thinks that if I go to metros, I will be happy. That is hereafter. Bhogeshu. Bhogeshu means the enjoyments, the pleasurable objects, absence of desire. What kind of desire? Bhogecha rahitya. Please understand. Absence of desire to enjoy them. Okay? Bhoga ichha rahityam kutra bhogeshu. What I consider as pleasurable, what I consider as a source of happiness, source of comfort, source of security, source of satisfaction, source of fullness, there only I have a desire. I don't desire those objects which doesn't promise. Please understand, here the word bhoga is used for ishta padartha. What I consider in my perception as a source of happiness, an absence of desire for them. That is, it's a very profound definition. This vairagya, there are so many misconceptions in our society about karma yoga, about dharma, etc., about moksha. There is a misconception about vairagya. People think vairagya is an action. Sometimes people say vairagya is a way of life. People say vairagya is a status with a long face. That's a vairagya. Be serious. People think it is how you relate. True, all of them are true, but that's not the complete definition of vairagya. There can be way of life, there can be expression of life without vairagya. Please understand, vairagya is understanding. Vairagya is knowledge. Vairagya is clarity. And vairagya is cognitive change. And that cognitive change may bring about attitudinal change. In English, there is a word dispassion. Please understand this word properly. This, because for want of proper word, they have to say in English dispassion. The right meaning of vairagya is viraga. What is viraga? V is a suffix, implies absence here. We can qualify also, we can mean something more, there are different shades of meaning added when the V suffix is added. It can change the meaning. So like ahara. Hara means to take away. Ahara means to eat. Vihara means to move around. We can change. Here, V is in a sense of absence. Okay? V can be in a sense of opposition also. Matam, Vimatam. Okay? but it is absence. So viraga is what? Not simply dispassion, absence of raga. Okay? Now, what is raga? Raga means, in English, nearest translation, you may say fascination. What is raga? To see a promise, to see a potential, or to see the existence of happiness, of completeness, of satisfaction in a given object, in a given situation, in a given person, at a given place, in a given relationship or given state. That is called raga. To see this. What? Promise. Or to see it. Not promise, it is. Either to believe or to have a promise. Either belief is out of experience. When I say belief means I had an experience of this and therefore I see this, or I see the promise. Now this seeing of happiness, this seeing of contentment, this seeing of fullness is purely subjective. Please understand. There is no universal seeing. Like a person, you may argue with me. No, Swamiji, everybody sees security in money. That is true. But how much is purely subjective? This raga is superimposition, subjective superimposition. You may call it in Sanskrit as adhyaropaha. There are two types of superimposition. You mistake something to be what it is not and see it something else. Like even our standard example is seeing a snake in place of rope. That is a superimposition. There is a rope. The fellow thinks it is a snake. That is a rajvam on this rope, sarpa adhyasaha. There is a superimposition of snake. So also here, subjectively on the self, there is a superimposition of body. Atma, which is not body, is taken as I, the body, Janmavan, Maranavan, superimposition. Another superimposition is you impute additional value than more than what it is worth, more or less. Or in modern jargon, though I don't agree with these words, positive or negative. The imputation of value is purely subjective. Human mind has a tendency to impute these values, which we call it raga and dvesha. When we say viraga, absence of raga, it implies absence of dvesha as well. Viraga doesn't mean I have no raga, but now I have dvesha. I have heard people saying, I have no raga for this stupid body, Swami. The adjective that this is a stupid body is presence of dvesha. When there is a raga, there is a possibility of dvesha as well. And vice versa, when there is a dvesha, there is a possibility of raga as well. World is nothing but pairs of opposites. It is a variety, and everything is in. That's why you call it duality, dvaitam. There is opposition. When there is a heat, there is a cold. When there is white, there is a black. When there is tall, there is short. When there is light, there is darkness. All duality. And if for anything I have a raga, for opposite there will be dvesha. Presence of raga implies presence of dvesha as well. And presence of dvesha also implies presence of raga. Commonly we say, there is, as I said, there is a dhyaropa, there is superimposition. What superimposition? Money. Money is a buying power, which itself is superimposition because of promise of the government. If Narendra Modi comes on TV on 8th November and says, buy your beno, that paper loses its buying power, you know. It is no more by mere deshvasiyo. The deshvasiyo loses that capacity, that it is a superimposition. True. Some Vyavahara necessitated some superimposition. It has some value. Like Mangal Sutra has a value. Like some lingam has a value for us. Some place has a value. My family home is a value. It's okay. It is acceptable. But then on that superimpose, Vyavahara is in a way of superimposition. On that superimposition to see that this much amount of money will give me security. If I have this much amount of money, I will be self-acceptable. I will be self-satisfied. I'll be self-content. That is superimposition that is caused by raga. And when I have raga for such X amount, there will be dvesha, or you look down upon a person who thinks that I am rich but doesn't have the same amount, he has X minus something, there is a little dvesha for that person or that amount. Existence of raga implies dvesha. Now, fellow, learn this. One should not have raga and decide that I have no raga for money and therefore I don't touch money. That is also value. That money will bind me. If I have money, then I'll be bound and therefore I give it up. No. Viraga means absence of raga and dvesha both. In other words, vairagya means objectivity, no superimposition. To see object or a person or a situation to be what it is worth. Money is a buying power. I need to buy certain things. I need to have certain things. Therefore, I need to buy certain things. That I need money, full stop. Car is a vehicle to transport me from this place to other place. Car is necessary to the lifestyle that I live because I have to move around and I happen to move around on highway and I happen to afford, I can buy a bigger car because it provides little more security and comfort. This traveling gives me discomfort and may cause me ill health and my efficiency may go down. That's fine. That I have a good vehicle, I have a high-end vehicle, it's okay. That's fine. But to see that if I possess this car, then I am somebody, that is superimposition. And without that car, I am nobody. That value addition is raga and dvesha. Oh, this car, if it I have, I am useless. I am nobody. And if I have this car, then I am somebody. That is raga dvesha. So raga dvesha primarily means value addition, superimposition to see something more than what it is. And generally, artha and kama, purushartha, is the directed on the basis of my raga. What I consider this will provide me happiness, I go for that. Bhogesh. Bhogeshu means those objects in which I see happiness. Those people in whom I see happiness. Those situations, those relations, those positions in which I see happiness, I see security, only those I shall pursue. The pursuit of Arthakama will be directed. The direction and the quantity will depend upon subjective superimposition, subjective ragatosha. Here I would like to add, in case of animals, there is no subjectivity to this pursuit. There is an instinctual pursuit. Every cow will see Kama in grass, full stop. Green grass, he wants it, that's all. Maybe little variation. Not this grass or that grass. She may eat green grass, or if you give something else, she may like. That's okay. But not beyond that. These likes and dislikes are purely subjective. That means I look at the world, all my actions are directed on the basis of my subjectivity. Vairagya is absence of subjectivity towards objects, towards situations, towards peoples, towards possessions, anything. Again, Iccharahityam. Please understand this word also. The word Bhogeshu means Raga Vishayeshu, Dvesha Vishayeshu cha. A absence of desire for those, something else I consider is unpleasant. I just don't want it. Like some vegetables, like people say, I do a typical jargon American this word, like every mother, every woman of the home has a problem what vegetable to cook. She, therefore, in India, typical India, when you see her buying vegetables, on that vegetable vendor will come with a four-wheel hurry. She is looking around different vegetables. She will ask, "What's the price of this lady's finger?" He will say, "Kilo this much," and then suddenly thinks of buying. Then remember, husband doesn't like it. Then she asks, "What is the price of other vegetables?" Then remember, daughter doesn't like. And then finally, she comes to when things everybody likes it. Then she remembers, yesterday only I cooked the same. Then she goes to something else. For cooking, to decide the menu, it is a big viveka required. She has to exercise that. As a typical example, this fellow, Swami used to say this. Lately, he had stopped this. This lady had cooked the food, and then they used to take lunch together because it happened that everybody come home at the same time. The boy and the girl and the son and the daughter and the husband had a break for lunch, and he was staying nearby. Used to come for the lunch, and a girl came around, and a boy came around, and then said, "Mom, I'm very hungry." He said, "Yes, yes, I'm preparing the table, and your sister will come, and dad is on the way. Just get ready, freshen up, and come, wash the hands, and come, it will be ready." Since the guy was hungry, he asked him, "Mom, what have you cooked?" He said, "I have cooked sabji, roti, dal, etc. Typical Gujarati man. But what is a vegetable?" He says, "Brinjal." "Oh, brinjal. I love you, mom, blah, 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 blah. I love brinjal." And the husband came. He says, "I'm very hungry. Is the table ready? I'm just coming." "Yes, it is ready, and the son is on the way, and we'll have mobile. So just get ready and come." "What is the food?" "Same, the sabji, roti, dal." "What have you cooked?" "Which vegetable?" "Brinjal." "Oh, brinjal, it's okay." He said, "It's okay." And the daughter came. She was little late. She was equally hungry. Same dialogue, same answers. Table is ready, get ready. Same question. "What is the food?" "Menu, four things." "Then what is the vegetable?" "Brinjal." "Brinjal! I hate it." American child, hate it. Then I hate it and I love it for no fault of brinjal. Brinjal is saying there is an overt expression of love and hate. I still remember way back in 84, 85, when I had just finished the study, and then from Rishikesh I had come here, and in Baroda itself I happened to be here. Which Swamiji was here. One of my old friends, Mr. Carlos, had come from America. He was there in the course, and I knew him. And then those days we didn't have those TVs, and we didn't know what's American culture and things like that. And in ashram, we always used to get those laddus, which is basil laddus. Gujil laddus are different. and I grew up with Guju laddus. I never liked that much that laddu. There was a raga. You see, this is what I'm telling. Or Guju laddu. Eh, and this Carlos wrote to me those days, I'm coming with Swami to Baroda. Are you coming? Blah. I said, yes, I'm coming. And then he used to like that laddus. I said, and he asked me, you don't like? I said, I like, but not that much as Gujarati. One day I'll give you those laddus. And nobody came from Gujarat. And if they came, they never wrote to us, Swamiji, what do I bring for you? So I couldn't fulfill my wish. So when I came to know that he's coming, I was over enthusiastic. Carlos, I wrote, you will have Guju laddus. And then I came here and asked, where is the Bhiksha? So second day itself, somebody, I knew it. So I told them, make laddus. I didn't bother for Swamiji, whether Swamiji likes or not. They said, Swamiji likes or not. I said, Swamiji's diabetes, it doesn't matter to him whether you what kind of, but you make laddus. So they cook laddus, and Carlos had laddus. And then I asked, wanting a confirmation, how was it? And typical American accent. He said, I love it. He elongated the love so much. I still remember the face, okay? I still remember the expression. Then that time I realized, if at all there is a manifestation of Brahmananda, that is Carlos' face. But that puzzled me. I said, this is where subjectivity comes. Maybe overt expression, or maybe cultural, I don't know. You know what my mind was thinking? About Laddu, he has so much of love because of raga. I love it. How much he would be telling to his wife, I love you, like Anup Jalota gai. Because suddenly there is more love for the spouse than Laddu. Pure subjectivity. See, understand Icharahitya. This is also confusion. Okay? In the confusion, there is confusion. Absence of desire is most misunderstood word. People think if you have vairagya, you should not have desire. No. Even the wise man has desire. You cannot live without desire. Desire don't seek your permission that should I come. You don't will a will. You just find yourself desiring. That's it. And then you find yourself wanting. That's it. There are two types of desires, binding and non. You have to qualify vairagya as absence of binding desires. Okay? What is binding desire? The desires fulfilling which I feel fulfilled. I see, I think if I fulfill a given desire, I'll be fulfilled. And other side of the statement is, if I can't fulfill this, I am incomplete. I am nobody. I am useless. That desire is binding, and absence of those desires is Icharahitya. There is no, and therefore I said there is nothing wrong in having a desire for car, a bigger car, costlier car. You may opt for a sedan or utility, whatever you need. But to see myself as somebody with that object by possessing, otherwise I am nobody, that is Raga. And only when I get rid of this object, then I am somebody, otherwise I am nobody, that is Dvesha. Presence of something and absence of something will make me complete, will make me self-acceptable, will make me self-satisfied, is Raga Dvesha Janya Ichha. So Icharahitya means absence of desires born out of likes and dislikes. Nothing wrong in using the objects of the world. If your role warrants, you may use it. Like even modern example, I may have mobile, nothing wrong in it. But then to see the mobile as a status object, adding to my identity or adding to a means to communicate, I need that. That is separate. So bhogeshu, therefore there is a word bhogeshu, not padartheshu, not in the objects. Object bhoga means bhogya buddhi upayukta padartheshu. Bhoga buddhi yukta vishayeshu. Icharita, where I want to experience or possess and be happy or content, that absence is icharita. It is, as I mentioned, this is purely subjective perception. So vairagya is, viraga is absence of subjective perception. In other words, objectivity in life. To see the situations, to see the objects, to see the people, to see the place, even relationship, to see the relationship as objective. Swamiji often used to say, to see, even in our culture, marriage, objectivity in marriage is, marriage will not make me complete, it is a means for completion, for mutual growth to be complete. To see any relationship, people say, will you marry me, then I'll be complete. The incomplete fellow with that incomplete felly will continue to be incomplete. There is no complete marriage. The marriage is for completeness if it is for any relationship. So nothing wrong in relating, nothing wrong in possessing, but with this clarity that it is with objectivity. Therefore, I said Vairagya is not an action. Running away, going to secluded place is simply doing that is not Vairagya. You have to get rid of this subjectivity that is Vairagya. We'll see a little more. I have to talk next time when we meet next week. Now, we will complete with Purnamadaha. And before, okay, let me complete the talk. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnad Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.